It's also weird that he didn't have like a trust issue with the nature of his job, because he does have these memories of these people. Oh, old boy. Does he still have the knife? Just kill the guy. Yeah. Again, I can't give this movie crap for this thing that every movie does, even a lot of movies I love, but like they always have this thing where people's like punishment tolerance is so high. It's like you go watch an MMA match and people get gassed so fast, and those guys like train all the time to fight. Like these guys aren't trained fighters, and they can just take so much punishment. I'm not even really sure how that happened, but okay. Went in there and got his arm tangled up in the wire somehow. Cool shot idea. So he was out for the count and now he's not? Like, what changed? Oh, you would hear that. He's got one good ear. You didn't hear him gasping for breath when he got out of the water. Oh, now water's loud.
The truth ain't gonna set you free. It's gonna damn you. Like me.
Oh my god, the dialogue. Yeah, we all knew that an hour ago. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's gonna be a noir and a detective story, it should have been us finding these things out at the same time as the main character.
It's a song he used to whistle in the trenches.
Again, it's also on him to make a stupid song you can hum that he does hum in public. The answer to the lock for his, you know, safe thing. Yeah, we knew that though. Now it makes him seem stupid because he's just catching up to stuff that we already knew.
This whole time I was nothing but a mark.
Yep, Also, why is he talking over this part too? Like, we can see all of it. We don't need him saying like, oh, it was all set up. I'm nothing but a mark. Alright, so, in Blade Runner, you guys may not know this. One of the director's cuts had to do with, the producers thought the movie was too hard to understand, so they wanted there to be, what's that called? Overdubbing narration. And it was just all this, like, horrible exposition that was just way too obvious. So Harrison Ford purposely, from what we anecdotally have heard, he purposely did them badly so that they wouldn't get put into the movie. And if you ever watch the old Blade Runner, don't watch that version. This movie feels the same. It almost feels like some producer stepped in and was like, no one's going to understand what's going on, so we need the main character to constantly tell everyone what's going on. This actress is gorgeous, but also looks like a Who at the same time. It's very interesting. Why is he like, we know. See, in most movies, some of the dialogue is bad. In this one, it's like 90% of it is bad. See, this movie, it's like the dialogue and the narration, the writing in general, is for like the dumbest people. Oh, the monologues, the pre-written, practiced in the mirror monologues. Did the actors ever notice that they were like, man, this dialogue is really on the nose and really over the top? I wonder what happens when you're doing this if you're like, yeah, this will scan, they'll figure it out in editing. I also wonder just how many actors are like, look, man, you can't win them all, bro. It's like, you gotta work. My allergies are killing me, so my eye hurts right here.
How did you get the scars, Truth?
You want to know how I got these scars? Okay, so here's the problem. Now that she's dead, the last thing for him to do is to go save the kid. But he has absolutely no connection to the kid. So there's nothing for me to like latch onto to care what he cares about, or why he would care about the kid, right? He woke up because an alarm went off. He woke up because, oh, okay, I guess the machine can keep you in longer, maybe? I don't know. He woke up because someone knocked on the door. Won't this guy just eventually wake up? This poor kid, he's just like, Mom.
Police picked him up early this morning.
Okay, thank God it's not him, like, going to go take care of the kid. I'll give him that. He's gonna shoot himself. I wish we knew this guy more. Like, I don't care.
I hear it, Walter.
This could have been a more powerful moment if we had spent any time with this dude. Hey, good for her. What do you want?
You got a death wish? The DA will pluck that little confession right out of my head with the tank.
I want them to.
I see clearer now all the things that I missed.
Man, this movie's long.
You're acting like I won't see you again.
You won't. You just told me you're gonna get deposed and they're gonna arrest
I
me.
expect that will change. It started as a con. By the end,
The city reacted swiftly to word of Sylvan's crimes.
There was this guy wearing clown makeup that everybody was kind of rallying around.
Avery cut me a deal.
I don't think
I didn't
that
get to walk.
gets you out of murder.
I got what I wanted.
I guess not murder, but like purposely driving someone insane. I didn't get to walk, but maybe he I don't know, maybe he burned himself
Destination.
into the
A place.
time where he's hanging out with Homegirl. But like, how did the cops? They were like, okay, we're not gonna put you in prison, or I don't. We'll let you do this instead. It's also like he had a future too. I mean, he's not the oldest man ever. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's got all the beats of like a noir. It just didn't land any of the. It didn't stick any of the landings, you know. Like, I would like to see the guts of the script. Like, I mean, it won't happen, but it would be nice to see someone who knows what they're doing, like, redo the guts of the script. Like, again, I know for a fact Rian Johnson can do it because he killed it with Brick. And so it's like, if he had this script, like, this actually probably could have been awesome. When did he get pruny?
You miss him, don't you?
Grandma, you miss him, don't you? Oh my god.
Without that sadness,
And another long speech.
our endings.
I've been rehearsing the speech in the mirror. This place isn't underwater yet. She was already saying that it was going to happen anytime soon.
What other ending could there be?
Okay. Alright, directed by Lisa Joy. Oh, so it was writer-director. Yeah, so Lisa Joy, man, this is tough, brother. Okay, alright. Did not like this one. I'm sorry. I was probably really annoying to watch, and I wish I had more to say during the movie. But the problem is, when you're watching a movie that isn't landing its hits, when it's trying things and they're not really working for you, what makes it hard is that the only thing you can, like, it's just the same couple things are, like, you're not invested in the story, right? And the problem is that also the way that the story was done is it's a classic mistake that you see a lot in like thrillers, or not thrillers, but like mystery style movies, is that you run into this problem where if you know what more about what's going on than the main character, you're just irritated the entire time. I just watched Utopia season 1 from the BBC from 2013, and then I watched the first 2 episodes of the American version, and I didn't really like it, so I ended up watching a guy who did a comparison video, and he brought up a similar problem in the American Utopia. He's like, a lot of points in the British one where you didn't know what was going on, you do know what's going on in the American one, so now you're waiting for the characters to catch up to you, so they all just seem kind of dumb, and it's very frustrating because it kind of ruins the mystery element of a mystery story. So this one had a lot of that going on. So like normally commentating, I would rather be asking or talking about like, oh, what's going on here? Or what's this person trying to do? And oh, that's interesting. What a clue. But none of it was very interesting as the problem. It was just kind of like, yeah, dude, like paint by numbers. Like I said, the dialogue isn't only bad, but the dialogue suffers mainly from the problem of it's like your first draft, right? When you write a script, you'll write the dialogue well, I mean, everyone's got their own style. I'm sure Quentin Tarantino just writes it perfectly the first time. But like, you know, normally when you write a script, you'll have this kind of blocked out dialogue where it's like, okay, here's the points these people have to make. Here's what they're trying to say. Here's where they're going. So let me write the most cliche versions of all of it just so that I can get through the scene. Then you go back in the multiple re-edits and you work down that dialogue to be like, okay, what are people explaining that we already know? What are people saying in a way that's been said 100 times before? Like, what's a new way to say that same kind of thing? What's a way to put a kind of twist on it? What's a way to also give some real personality? Like, there's no personality to the script. Everything is so just kind of generically like, yep, here's the part where this person says this. Here's the part where this person says this. So it's just that the entire time, you know? And so you just, the whole time you're watching it, just like, so it's really hard to like have anything interesting to say on a commentary for a movie like that. Like, I would rather watch something like The Room that's so egregiously bad that you can point out all these little things, and that's kind of fun. Like a Mystery Science Theater thing. They don't watch normally, I mean, you know, I haven't been watching lately, but generally speaking, they don't watch like new middle of the road C+ movies because they'd have the same problem I just did. You know, it's like you want to watch like really bad movies, or you want to watch really good movies. Like if I had never seen Fargo, and I'm doing a reaction to Fargo, there's a million things to commentate on about how interesting what is happening on screen is. But this movie is so wildly uninteresting. What I can say is that it's got the tools that it would have needed if it wanted to be something really good. Like, again, if a better, I'm not trying to crap talk, it really feels like a freshman effort. I don't know if this is Joy's first movie, but it feels like a first movie. So if a more seasoned director had tackled this project, writer too, I think that what you've got that's good and useful, worth keeping is the person is probably a private eye of some sort. Because we kind of got rid of the whole, like, I let people look through their memories for funsies. Like, most of that didn't need to go that way. That wasn't the most important. But even if you want to keep that, I guess, it's like you've got the idea of being able to dig through memories. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of cool. The city being underwater, that really didn't matter. It just was cool for set design. So, why not? I guess I wish that was a little more important. And then you've got, like, I don't know. There's like I can't even remember them because the moments that worked weren't so great that it was like, oh yeah, like, ooh, write that down, use that for later. But there's a couple moments throughout the movie where I was like, okay, that was something that had a little something going on in it, right? The other problem is that, like, I don't think any of the actors in this movie are especially bad actors. I've seen almost all of the main people who would have been like marquee people in other things, and they were great. So I think that the acting suffered from just the kind of rough writing. The other thing too is takes, right? It's like, I remember watching the show Spartacus. Not the most incredible show in the world, but the first couple seasons pretty good. And the second season, that was the prequel, had the character of Crixus. I don't remember the actor's name. Manny something. But he's good. He had to carry a lot more weight than he did in the first season, and so he got to do a lot of good work in that season, that show. And then I went and saw him on like some sci-fi original, and he's terrible. And some of that is because if you don't have great chemistry with your actors and know how to get the best out of them, then a lot of it is just takes. That's why certain directors do 100 takes or whatever, right? So in this one, I think some of it was the direction is where I would put more of the blame when it comes to how the actors did their performances, because I've seen Thandiwe Newton kick ass. I've seen, Hugh Jackman kick ass, right? So that's like the direction part for me, as far, is like, I feel like I lay a lot of the blame on the actors, on the director instead of on the actors. The other thing is that, again, the writing is just basic and obvious, and just, here's a handful of things I liked from this kind of noir. Here's a handful of things I liked from Christopher Nolan movies. Let me kind of jam these things together. So that wasn't, very inspired. It didn't have very much personality. Like, I'll forget this movie, like I don't know. Like, even Elysium did a better job, right? Like, it's another kind of like near future movie. But it just is tighter in just about every way. Again, it's not like my favorite movie. It's not The Matrix where it's going to define a period. But I can think back on that movie and my brain immediately picks out all these parts that I thought were actually kind of cool and like done well and that had good personality. So this one is just so kind of empty and devoid. It just doesn't do it for me. Like, I don't know, man. It's just tough, dude. So again, the thing is, though, is it isn't The Room, and so I could imagine a world where where Lisa Joy goes and does some better. Wait a second, what did I see? From writer, director, producer Lisa Joy, co-creator of Westworld. See, that's so insane. Like, I don't know what co-creator means, because Westworld is the season 1 is awesome, like completely kicks ass. Again, Thandiwe Newton, incredible in Westworld. So it's like, again, this is maybe showing the difference in the having a team that's more seasoned around you. It's like, George R.R. Martin wrote, the Game of Thrones series, the Song of Fire and Ice, and he didn't do the screenplays, though. He didn't do the, the directing. And for this first handful of seasons, using what his, creator credit gave, the stuff was incredible, So it's like with this one, it's kind of tough because now we're in this weird spot where it's like you have this, it would be, I don't know. It's like if George R.R. Martin went to go make a movie all of a sudden. So I don't know what Lisa Joy did before how involved they were in like every step of the way with, Westworld, but gosh, it just didn't come together in this movie. So I don't know. Like I I wanted to like this one because, like, again, it's got the pieces I like. I'm a huge sucker for noirs. I love neo-noirs. And it just kind of, you know, it's like I like Dark World better than this. And Dark World has got some major issues. It's a very, like, 1999 kind of movie, 98. And it has a lot of the issues that you run into from all movies of that time period. But having said that, it's awesome. Most people, I think, who like it, I mean, you know, they really like it. And I forgive a lot for that movie because it has so much character and it's so interesting. It's kind of a neo-noir, but it's the neo-noir met with like a Tim Burton kind of, you know, flavor, which is a fun, cool idea. Could be executed much worse than it was, but ended up coming out as a, you know, B+ movie. So this one's tough because it's just, yeah, it's just missing so much of what you would need to just make a person give a shit. Like, I don't know. If any of you guys love this movie, you're probably not watching this far, but if you did, I'd love to hear your guys' like takes on what you thought was done so well about it. As far as like, I brought it up earlier too, but a lot of the editing didn't really, you know, that's the other thing too. So many things are serviceable. It feels like everyone showed up to work and they did their thing and they clocked out, they got lunch, you know, they called it a day and they said, okay, one more in the books. This does not feel like a passion project by anybody. Again, I know Tenet from, you know, Chris Nolan is a very polarizing movie. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies. Adam Johnston of YMS hates it. But I think that comes from it having, I would say it comes from it having at least a strong character. That means the movie had a voice. If some people love it and some people hate it, you know, there was at least something it was really going for. And I think with this one, it's going to be that movie where most people are going to be like, yeah, it was kind of, you know, I think my friends who are not super into movies will probably be like, yeah, it was fine. You know, it was maybe even above average. And then my friends who don't like it will probably think it was just a horrible piece of crap, you know? So I don't know, man. It just really didn't do it for me, which sucks because I really think that the blueprint was there. And I think that the makings of something really cool and awesome were there. But it just didn't pull it all together for me, man. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Can't wait to talk to you about it. Catch you guys later.